Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape! Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to a lonely lighthouse off the steaming jungle coast of French Guiana, and a nightmare world of terror and violence, as we bring you again, in response to hundreds of requests, Three Skeleton Key, starring Vincent Price.
Picture this place. A gray tapering cylinder welded by iron rods and concrete to the key itself. A bare black rock, 150 feet long, maybe 40 wide. That's at low tide. At high tide, just the lighthouse, rising 110 feet straight up out of the ocean. And all about it, the churning water, gray-green, scum-dappled, warm as soup, and swarming with gigantic bat-like devilfish, great violet schools of Portuguese man-o'-war, and yes, sharks, the big ones, the 15-footers. And as if this weren't enough, there was a hot, dank, rotten-smelling wind that came at us day and night off the jungle swamps of the mainland. A wind that smelled like death. A wind that had smelled the slow and frightful death that came one night to this bare black rock. Set in the base of the light was a watertight bronze door, and in you went, and up. Yes, up and round, past the tanks of oil and the coils of rope, casks of wicks, racks of lanterns, sacks of spuds and cartons and cans, and up, round and round. Over the light storeroom was the food storeroom, and over the food storeroom was the bunk room where the three of us slept. And over the bunk room was the living and cooking room, and over the living and cooking room was the light. She was a beauty, big steel and bronze baby with the sun gleaming through the glass walls all about, bouncing blinding little beams off the big shining reflectors, glittering and refracting through her lenses, the whole gigantic bulk of her balanced like a ballerina on the glistening steel axle of her rotary mechanism. She was a sweetheart of a light. And at night she'd lie there on the stone deck of the gallery with her revolving smoothly and quietly over your head, easing her bright white eye 360 degrees around the horizon. You'd lie there watching to see that the feeders kept working, that everything ran right. And it wouldn't be bad, the other two fellows snoring in their sacks 2 levels down. You'd smoke your pipe to kill the stink of the wind, and it wouldn't be bad. About those other two, Louis and Auguste. What a pair. Louis, he was head man, was a big fellow from the Basque country, black beard, little hard black eyes, and a pair of arms that I tell you, those arms were as big around as my legs. Yes, head man he was, and what word he let go was law. A silent fellow, and although I spent my first 2 weeks trying to strike up a real conversation, the most I could ever get out of him was...
Jean, I took up this profession because I don't like people. They want to talk too much. It's quiet work, light tending. Let's keep it that way. You're getting to be as bad as Auguste. I thought maybe for once they'd send me somebody who
That
could keep
was
his
Louis.
mouth shut.
When he accused me of becoming like Auguste, I quieted down, because Auguste was the talkingest man I'd ever met. The talkingest and the ugliest. He was hunchbacked, stood 4 feet high, had red hair and big blue eyes. It seems he'd been an actor in Paris.
Yes, indeed. Played in over 200 different productions, dear boy, at the Grand Guignol. Oh, but it was monstrous horrible, the way we used to scare the audiences. I was hated. Yes, they used to throw things and hiss and bare their teeth at me. Finally, it got too bad. I couldn't stand it any longer. I gave up the theater. My nerves, you understand. Yes, gave it up completely. I really did. Couldn't stand it any longer.
It all started one morning at 2:30. I was on watch, lying on the cool stone deck, pulling on my pipe, staring out at the blackness, the phosphorescent combers, and the big yellow stars, when out of the corner of my eye I noticed something show up for a second, something the light had touched, far off. I waited for her to come around again, and when she did, there it was. Three-master, a big one, about a half-mile off and coming down out of the north-northwest, coming straight for us. You must understand, our light was where it was for a very good reason. Dangerous submerged reefs surrounded us and ships kept clear. But this one, this sailing vessel, was coming straight on. I went over to the gallery door and yelled, "Louis! Louis!" Couldn't understand it. I waited for the light to come around again.
What is it?
Ship headed for the reefs!
Hurry right up!
I had the glasses out now. I couldn't read her name, but I could see her quite plainly. All sails set, the foam creaming away under her bow, her beautiful lines. A Dutch ship, I guessed her. But why didn't she turn? Every time it passed, our light hit her with the glare of day.
Ship? Where?
Northwest. The light will touch her in a moment.
Can't they see?
Look at her. She just keeps coming on.
Yeah, the squarehead.
What is it? What is it?
Watch northwest.
I know what it is.
Huh? What?
The Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman. We did a play about her once. Oh, what a performance. You ghastly galleon, hag-ridden, curse-driven, must on...
Shut up, will you? She's luffing.
Yes.
Sloppy way to come about. She's derelict, that's it.
Derelict?
Abandoned. The crew left her for some reason or other. But instead of sinking, she's gone on, running before every wind.
She'll not run long. Not with these reefs to break her up.
A beautiful ship. Now, why would men leave a beautiful ship like that?
She didn't ram us, although we all expected it. But as we waited for the crash, she luffed again, caught some odd gust, and went about. We watched her the rest of those black hours, heeling and rocking, pushed and pulled by every stray wind, every freak current. Watched her until the dawn came, till the sea turned from black to a pearly gray. And on she came again, heading for us. We all had our glasses trained on her now.
August, you can kill the light.
Right, Chief?
She doesn't look so good by daylight. Think she'll ground this time?
What?
I say, do you think she'll ground this time?
Huh? This is impossible. Absolutely impossible.
What?
Here, take my glasses. They're better than yours.
All right. And what is it you're... I had to focus, and then my breath froze in my throat. The decks were swarming with a dark brown carpet that looked like a gigantic fungus, but undulating. And on the masts and yards, the guys and all were hundreds, no thousands, I don't know, an endless number of enormous rats.
See them?
Yes, I see them.
Now we know why she's derelict.
Yes, now we know.
What are you two doing? Here, give me a look.
Yes, give him the glasses. Take a good look, chatterbox. Give you something to talk about.
She's still heading for us.
Yes.
She's going to turn. She'd better turn soon.
Suppose she doesn't.
You mean suppose she piles up on the quay?
It's low tide.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Where's all the conversation, August, huh? Here, want the glasses again? Want another look?
No!
She's still coming on.
Go away! Go away!
Turn! Will you turn, I say? I pray you! Turn! She's cracking up.
The rats! Look! On the water! Like a carpet!
They're swimming.
Sure, they're swimming. Those are ship's rats.
But they're swimming for the rocks.
The door below! It's open!
Come on.
Down we went, racing down the stone stairs, taking them 3 and 4 at a time. Scared? You bet we were scared.
August, you get the windows. Maybe they can climb. We don't know.
Right, Chief. But hurry! Hurry!
Look. See them?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Up at the other end of the rock.
Look at them.
Millions.
They smell us. Here they come. Close the door.
Can't it stop?
Here. Let me.
Oh, move, you move.
Heave.
Made it.
Holy. That was close.
One got in. Look, there.
Get it!
Watch it. He's kicking. He was as big as a tomcat, bigger. And his eyes were wild and red, his teeth long and sharp and yellow. He went for us, starving, ravenous, and we fought him, fought that one rat all over the room. It was, oh, believe me, I do not exaggerate, it was like fighting a panther.
Got him.
We better get aloft. As we ran up the winding staircase, we passed the tiny windows of the various levels, and at every one was a thick, wriggling, screaming curtain of brown fur. I was ahead of Louis, and I dreaded each successive level. Suppose they had found a way in.
Look at them! Will you look at them?
It's a nightmare.
Will you look at them?
The air of the gallery was thick and fetid with the stink of them. The light was dim, brown, filtered through the crawling mass that swarmed over the glass all about us. We could not see the sky. Nothing but them. Their red eyes, their claws, their wriggling, hairy snouts, and their teeth. The rats. They screamed and howled and threw themselves against the glass. They were starving. And we three, we stood very quietly. Oh, very quietly in the center of the classroom under our beautiful light. And we waited.
What can we do? What can we do, Chief?
Take it easy, old man. Take it easy.
I just can't.
It won't do any. Won't do any good to stand here and shake.
That's right. Anybody want a cigarette?
Yes, I'll have one, thank you.
Good boy. We've got to keep calm about this thing. Here's a light.
They don't like the fire, do they?
Guess not.
Give me another match. You don't like that much, do you? I say?
Don't rile them, August.
Give me some more matches. I'll strike them and strike them and strike them until they get scared and go away.
They won't go away. Not until...
Finish it, Chief. Not until what?
Not until they've been fed.
You can take just so much horror and then you get used to it. And they were interesting to watch, you know. They couldn't understand the glass. They could see us and they could rush at us, but that thin, invisible barrier held them off, stopped them. From time to time, we caught a glimpse of the rocks below. More rats down there, swarming brown velvet in the bright tropical sunlight. And then the tide began to rise. If only it had drowned some of them.
Ship's rats don't drown. No, sir, you cannot drown one of them. They're all climbing up the tower.
This bunch around us is getting thicker.
Say, what's the time?
6:15.
You've got first watch, John.
Right.
Wake me at 10.
I will.
Come along, August.
It was getting dark. One side of the room was lit a soft, filtered red. Sunset through the rats. Oh, very pretty. I set the wicks, checked my fuel, and then lit the lamps. It caught them, lit them in their gigantic wriggling web of pale, hairless bellies, twitching red tails, bright eyes. Then I started the rotary motor. The light drove them mad as she swung slowly and smoothly about. She blinded them in the fierce stabbing bar of light, moving continually about, ever turning, ever touching, ever moving around and around, and they twitching and shuddering, eyes flaming when they were struck by the light. Bright light moving, and behind on the dark side of the room, so close, I dared not turn my back, but you cannot help turning your back when you're in a room made of glass. On the dark side of the room, you could not see them, but only their eyes. Thousands of points of blank red light, blinking and twinkling like the stars of hell. Louis relieved me at 10, but I didn't get much sleep that night, and when I came up into the gallery early next morning, there stood August, his back to me. He was bowing to the rats, waving his arms and making a speech.
I am going to play once again that magnificent role which made me the toast of the Paris theatre. Prelate, the evil genius of the medieval underworld. I am he who did guide the dark soul of the Marechal into the nether parts. Do not be frightened, little children. I will not hurt you.
I stood staring at him, horror-struck, but he didn't notice me. The man had gone mad. He kept turning, telling his stories to all the rats, leaving no one out. August! August!
Ah, another one. A latecomer. Take a seat on the aisle, dear patron.
August,
move
stop
over
it,
there.
stop it.
Let the gentleman be
But
seated.
he didn't
Come,
stop.
Come.
He went on, bowing and scraping to the rats, his big blue eyes rolling and winking, his wild red hair waving about him. I grabbed him by the arms and slapped his face. He looked at me like a child, and then his face screwed up. He looked as though he were about to cry. Go below, go on.
Oh, very well then. Later, my dear audience, later. Matinee today.
Sure, he was crazy, but I guess we all were. A few hours later, he came back up and caught Louis and me teasing the rats. Yes, sounds horrible. It was fun. We could get right up against the glass and make faces at them. It drove them crazy. They would scratch away trying to get at our eyes. Louis was even cuter about it. He'd pull a piece of bread out of his pocket and press it against the glass. The rats would scramble into a solid ball, biting each other, clustering like grapes. From time to time, a whole knot of them would slip and fall the 110 feet to the surf below.
Look at the sharks!
They're eating them.
The sharks are our friends. Here, I'll get another bunch together. Here, my beauties. That's it. Pile up. Kill each other. There they go!
Auguste joined in, too. Oh, very ingenious Auguste. He learned that if he spread-eagled himself against the glass, they'd bunch and bundle against his figure. Then he'd leap back.
Look! My portrait in rats!
It went on all day, and then I was lying in bed. It was about midnight. I was very tired, and I was just beginning to fall off to sleep when I became conscious of a new sound. Couldn't figure it at first. I got up, lit the lamp, and went to the window. Even as I looked at it, I saw one of the panes begin to sag in. They had eaten the wood away. Louis, come quick!
What? What is it?
They found a way in. I held the glass with my hand. Now they were all going crazy, and assured of the success of this maneuver, were all nibbling away at the wood. Louis ran below and then returned with a large sheet of tin. We spread it against the window and hammered it into place. Even as we did so, we felt the heavy bodies thudding against the other side as the window gave way.
That ought to hold. If it doesn't, we're done for.
Rats can't eat tin.
No, they can't. What was that?
I don't know.
It came from below.
The storeroom window.
They're in. They're swarming up the stairs.
Drop the trap.
Right.
two of them got in.
Let's go after them.
We didn't have to go after them. They came at us. I leaped to one side and grabbed a marlin spike, swung, and smashed one in midair.
No!
I whirled to see Louis with the other. It had ripped his hand open, and the blood was pouring all over the place. He held his hand aloft and kicked at the snarling rat. I stepped and swung and got him.
My hand! He got my hand!
That's both of them, Louis. I'll get you something to tie that up.
Blood! Look at it! My blood! I'm bleeding!
Now, don't worry about it, Louis. Here, look. I'll wind this kerchief around it. It'll be okay.
Blood!
There, now. It's not bad, just the flesh. And then I became conscious of another new sound. They were gnawing their way through the wooden trap door. I watched the wood fascinated. Even as I did, it began to give way, and a bristling, whiskery nose showed through. Louis, we've got to go up. Next level was the living quarters and kitchen. I slammed the trap door there, too, but it, too, was wood.
My blood! What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll be through this one in a moment.
The gallery. The trap door in the gallery is metal.
Good. Come on. We made it. We lay across the trap door exhausted, while below us the rats took over the entire tower. I could hear them howling and fighting over our food supply, our water, our leather. And all about us, the others screamed and glared in at us, swayed in a tangled mass, hypnotized by the ever-turning light. By morning, the air in the little room was horrible. Until now, we'd been getting air from the tower below. Now that was sealed off, and so was all our food and water. We lay exhausted, panting, waiting. And the hours crawled on. I was almost dozing from fatigue when I saw a sight that brought me too fast.
Would you like to come in, my beauties? Would you? I hold the powers of life and death, and I can let you in, you know.
August was standing by the glass, and in one hand he held a wrench. He was tapping the glass gently, not quite hard enough to break it. I eased myself to my feet and slowly, very slowly, tiptoed toward him.
All I have to do is tap just a little harder, and
I found a coil of wire in the toolkit, and I trussed him up, fastened him to a stanchion in the center of the room. Louis was of no help. He lay on his side, looking at his bloody hand, weak and sick as a baby. So there I was, a lunatic and a coward for company, and all about watching our little drama, the rats. The day dragged by. The supply boat wasn't due for another 12 days. I don't know what they could have done if they had come. We had only one way of summoning them, and that was to shoot off distress rockets, but the rockets were 4 floors below. And even if they'd been right there in the gallery, I couldn't have opened a window to fire them. That night I tended the light, but its flame was devouring our oxygen. The following day we lay, thirst-tormented, starving, waiting, and the following night I again tended the light, but the small supply of spare wicking we kept in the gallery had become exhausted, and quite suddenly, about midnight, the light went out. There's nothing I could do. Wicks were stored 3 levels below. Nothing I could do. Nothing. From time to time, I'd strike a match to see the clock. When I did, it lit up the million red eyes about us. All about us. Watching. Waiting. Below, it had grown quiet. They'd cleaned us out, and now they, too, were waiting. All waiting. And then, the rats, quite suddenly, were silent. And then I heard it. I saw the sky and the stars. The rats were gone. I went to the glass. Out there on the water, a small freighter, a banana boat, showing a few lights, came softly and innocently at us. The light was out. They didn't know. I wanted to open the windows to call out to them, to warn them somehow, but I was afraid. What if the rats were hiding from me, tricking me? So I waited. She grounded very softly on a reef not 200 yards from the quay. Grounded so gently that the man playing the cornet, was he a passenger or crewman off watch, didn't even stop playing. They tried washing her back off. I could have told them to save their fuel. The tide was rising, would have floated her free. And I waited. That's all. That's the story. The sun came up and there wasn't a rat on the whole quay. Every last one of that terrible army had left us, gone back to sea on their new ship. Auguste, insane asylum, he never recovered. And Louis, they took him into Cayenne where he died of blood poisoning from his bite. Oh, yes. Well, that's the whole of it. And if you'll excuse me now, I must go set my traps. No, mouse traps. No rats in this lighthouse, I should say not. Life in the lights isn't bad, but sometimes when I see a strange vessel approaching, I get a little nervous, sure. Somewhere on the seas, there's a little banana boat without a crew. That is, without a human crew.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Three Skeleton Key by George Tadouse, adapted for radio by James Poe and starring Vincent Price as John. Supporting Mr. Price were Harry Bartell as August and Jeff Corey as Louis. Sound effects on Three Skeleton Key, created by Cliff Thorsness and executed today by Mr. Thorsness, Gus Bays, and Jack Sixsmith, have been awarded the Best of the Year by Radio and Television Life magazine. Harry Essman was at the control panel, and special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week,
you are swimming for your life in the dangerous waters off the Florida Gulf Coast, about to be smashed by a launch carrying a vicious criminal who must kill you or die himself. And on shore 500 yards away, the police are waiting to arrest you for murder, and there can be no escape.
next week, we escape with an exciting tale of temptation and death on the Gulf Coast of Florida, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in Danger at Matagumba. Goodbye, then, until the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. A patch of weeds, a boxer's biography, and a mild, lukewarm bath. They're all clues that lead the police of Jackson, Michigan, to a killer in the gangbuster story on CBS this Saturday night. It's the case of the double push, to be heard on most of these same CBS stations this Saturday night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by L&M Filters. This is it. L&M is best. stands out from all the rest. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. And a little lonely.
There's a couple of chairs, Matt. Let's sit down and watch the plaza for a while.
Okay, Doc.
You'd look better sitting than standing anyway.
Well, I'd feel better, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. An attack of the ague always leaves a man weak, Matt. You got over yours darn fast.
Well, I still feel kind of raveled out, Doc. Stupid and mad at the same time.
Oh, well, ague doesn't improve a man's temper.
Oh, I haven't had a good night's sleep in a week, I'll bet.
Marshal Dillon?
Yeah.
Marshal, you don't know me, but I've seen you around lots of times. My name's Jake Bewley. I've seen him, too. Hello, Doc.
You know.
No, what can I do for you, Bewley?
I heard you was in the market for a good horse, Marshal.
I'm always in the market for a good horse.
Well, that's what I do, Marshal. Ride around the country looking for extra good horses. I don't make much profit off them, but keeps me from working steady.
And I don't buy horses very often, Bewley, even good ones.
You like buckskins?
Sure. But I don't want to look at him tonight.
Tomorrow?
Well, yeah, if I'm feeling better.
So, you know, Matt, what'd do you good?
Oh, what, Doc?
Go over to the Long Branch and take a couple of shots of whiskey.
No?
And then go to bed.
Okay, Doc. I'll just do that. You want to come along?
No, I got some work to do at my office. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Beauty.
Good night, Doc.
Good night, Doc. How long you been around Dodge, Bewley?
Couple of months.
No? You make a pretty good living trading horses?
I done good so far. Without cheating nobody too bad either.
Marshal Dillon!
I don't know. What does he want?
Who is it?
Sam Noonan.
Oh, yeah. Don't he work at the Long Branch?
He built it. Oh, what do you want, Sam?
Hurry up, Marshal.
Oh, what's the trouble?
Outbacked. Gonna be a fight.
A fight? Who?
You know that gambler, Charlie Pickard?
He's also kind of a gunman, isn't he?
He's roaring drunk, Marshal, and there's gonna be trouble, sure. Now, come on, we'll go up the alley.
That Pickard's always getting in trouble.
Who's he after, Sam?
Chester, that's who.
Chester.
Yeah. It started right inside at the bar, Marshal. Chester bought a drink for that little blonde girl.
Well, it doesn't matter now. You can tell me later. There they are.
Shooting people ain't gonna help nothing.
I didn't bring you out here for talk, Chester. Now, everybody get back.
You're drunk, Pickard.
I ain't so drunk I can't shoot you.
Pickard,
Marshal Dillon.
don't touch the gun, Pickard.
What are you doing here, Marshal?
I'm stopping a fight.
I ain't gonna fight you.
All right, then give me your gun.
Take it. I ain't that drunk.
Chester,
Yes, sir.
throw him in jail.
Now, wait, Marshal.
Shut up. Take him around the other way, Chester, out the next alley. I'm going inside for a minute. Then I'll be over.
There ain't gonna be no fight. I think I'll go to bed. I'll be around with that buckskin in the morning, Marshal.
Yeah, sure. Sure, Bewley.
It ain't fair to put me in jail, Marshal. I ain't done nothing.
You're drunk and you were about to shoot a man, Pickard.
I'm doing you a favor throwing you in jail.
That's true, Pickard. All right. Put me in jail. But wait till I get sober, Chester. Wait till tomorrow.
Oh.
I'll get you. You'll see what I'll do.
You're not going to do anything, Pickard. All right, take him along, Chester.
I'll follow you, Pickard. Go ahead. Walk slow. It won't be so easy next time. Marshals. What are they going to have marshals around for?
Oh, you'll forget it by morning.
No, I won't. You'll see, Chester.
All right, Sam, tell me now, what's this all about?
Well, I started to tell you, Marshal. Chester bought a drink for Nita Tucker at the bar in there. You know her.
Yeah, I've seen her around.
Well, she's really Pickard's girl. He kind of watches out for her, you know.
Yeah.
Well, she don't seem to like it much, but that don't stop him. And he's real jealous if anybody gets anywhere near her, especially if he's been drinking, like tonight.
So he was going to shoot Chester because he bought Nita a drink, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great reason for killing a man.
Oh, that Pickard can be awful mean, Marshal. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if he makes more trouble tomorrow when he's sober.
And I'll keep him in jail till he forgets about it.
Can't keep him there forever.
No, but I can always run.
Come from that alley there.
Yeah, come on.
Must be Chester. Hey, looky, Marshal. That's Pickard. Chester shot him.
What's the matter with you, Chester? Did he knife you or something? Here, come on. Stand up. Come on.
Pickard's dead, Marshal.
Are you hurt, Chester? What happened? Come on, tell me, what happened?
I got hit. And here's Chester's gun, Marshal. Laying right at his feet.
Did he jump you? Is that what happened?
No. No, he didn't jump me.
Well, then why did you shoot him?
I didn't shoot him. Somebody hit me.
Well, that don't make sense. Of course you shot him. This here's your gun. It's been fired.
I didn't shoot him. Somebody jumped out from back of that rain barrel and hit me.
Eh? Let's see. You ain't bleeding nowhere.
Well, he hit me back here, behind my ear. Didn't knock me out for long. I heard the gunshot, but I couldn't do nothing.
Who was it, Chester?
I didn't see him. I started to turn, and then he hit me.
You're going to have a hard time proving that, Chester.
I didn't kill him, Sam.
He swore he was going to get you tomorrow. And looks to me like you killed him for that.
I got hit, I tell you. You believe me, don't you, Mr. Dillon?
Sure, Chester. But Sam's right. It's going to be hard to prove. You're not even marked up.
Well, let Doc look at it. He can tell I got hit. Well, I wouldn't kill nobody like that.
Sam, get somebody to take care of Pickard's body, will you? We're going over to Doc's.
Hold that lamp a little higher, Matt. I can't see.
Yeah, is that better, Doc?
That's fine. That's fine. Now then, show me where you were hit, Chester. Right there, Doc. Right back of the ear. Right here. Well, what did he hit you with? Well, how do I know? I didn't see him. Well, maybe he used the edge of his hand. It isn't swollen. The skin isn't broken anyway. Well, it's bruised, ain't it? Well, not that I can see. Well, it must have done something. How hard were you hit, Chester? Well, it knocked me off my feet. And I got kindly fainty for a few seconds. Long enough for him to take my gun and shoot Charlie Pickard. That's pretty hard, ain't it? Yeah. You can put the lamp down there, man.
Okay, Doc.
You're saying you can't testify I got hit, ain't you, Doc? You want me to lie for you, Chester? No, I wouldn't ask you to do that, Doc. It's too bad Sam Noonan had to be there, isn't it, Matt?
Oh, Sam likes Chester, but he thinks he did it, and he'll testify against him.
Well, how can he, Mr. Dillon? He didn't see it.
No, nobody saw it.
Well, then they can't hang me, can they?
They can't hang you, Chester.
But prison, huh? Maybe for life.
We'll find out who did it.
Oh, there's no way in the world to find
Now,
out.
wait a minute, Chester. You're giving up too easy.
Tell me. You and Doc, you don't really think I done that, do you?
You're in a bad spot, Chester, real bad, but I believe you. What about you, Doc?
Oh, of course I believe you, Chester. Thanks, Doc. And you too, Mr. Dillon. I'd feel awful if you didn't believe me.
Well, worrying about it won't help, Chester.
Well, I gotta worry about it. If we don't find out who done it, I'll have to stand trial. And I won't have a chance if I do. Are you gonna put me in jail, Mr. Dillon?
No, of course not. You'd better stay around the office, though, huh? There's going to be enough talk about it as it is.
All right, sir.
What was the girl's name? Nita Tucker?
Yes, sir, that's right. But why?
Well, maybe she knows who wanted Charlie Pickard dead. I'll be back later. Oh, hello, Sam.
Well, what did Doc find?
Nothing visible.
Did you put Chester in jail?
I'll have a shot of whiskey, Sam.
Now, look, you, Marshal. I'm as sorry about this as anybody. But just because Chester works for you, there's no reason he can murder a man and then go free.
I'll be responsible for Chester.
If he gets away, it'll make a lot of trouble, Marshal.
You think Chester did it, don't you?
Of course I do. And I don't like him not being in jail.
Sam, that's Nita Tucker sitting over there with Kitty, isn't it?
Yeah, that's her. But she didn't do it.
Oh?
Well, she hated Pickard, but you're not going to try to hang this on her, Marshal. No, sir. I'll stand up for her. She's a good girl.
I got the drink, Sam. I don't need it.
Hello, Matt.
Evening, Kitty.
You know Nita Tucker, Matt?
No. How do you do?
Marshal, sit down.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry about Charlie Pickard, Nita.
Sounds terrible, Marshal, but I'm not very sorry. I hated him. Charlie didn't treat women very good, Matt.
Well, that wouldn't excuse murdering him, though.
I'm not so sure. Marshal, you're not thinking I had anything to do with it, are you?
Now, Chester says he didn't do it, and I believe him.
I wouldn't kill anybody, even him.
Where were you when it happened?
I was in here. She was at the bar, Matt, and I was standing right next to her.
Okay. I guess that clears you, Nita. Tell me, who else hated Pickard?
A man like him has enemies, Marshal. There must be a lot of them.
Anybody in particular?
Not that I know of. Look, I'd like to help Marshal. If Chester didn't do it, it isn't right he should be in jail.
No, it sure isn't.
It looks bad for Chester, don't it, Matt?
Yeah, Kitty, it does. Good night. Good night, Nita.
Good night, Matt.
Marshal Dillon?
Hello, Bewley.
I heard about Chester, Marshal. I'm awful sorry about it.
Oh?
He's always seemed like such a nice fella. Sure is too bad.
Yeah.
People are going to wonder why you don't lock him up.
No, they are.
Well, not me. I understand, but Sam Noonan was saying something about it inside there a minute ago.
I see.
Well, that's what I wanted to tell you. He's going to make trouble about it. I told him not to be a fool.
Just a minute, Bewley. Well, what do you care? Is Chester a good friend of yours?
No, I don't know him very well, but I don't like to see no trouble start.
Well, if it does, I'll handle it.
I know you will, Marshal. I just wanted to tell you what the talk is. I'll bring that buckskin by in the morning, huh?
Okay. Good night, Bewley.
Good night, Marshal.
Jake Bewley's warrant didn't bother me much. But still, I couldn't delay filing murder charges against Chester forever. And after 10 days of useless search for the real killer, I had to do it. And then having written him up, I really began to worry. Chester did too. He'd sit quietly in the office and look at me as though I'd just kicked him. So I stayed out of there as much as possible. Like today, I went into Mr. Jonas' general store for nothing but to kill a little time looking around.
Matt! Hey, Matt, come here.
Wow. Hello, Kitty. Nita.
Hello, Marshal.
Well, are you girls going to buy that whole pile of dresses you got stacked up there?
As soon as Mr. Jonas gets back here, we are, Marshal.
She means she is. I'm only watching, Matt.
Well, isn't that a lot of clothes for just one woman?
Not for me. Not this time.
Not this time?
Matt, when does a girl buy everything new? All she wants?
Well, I don't know, I'm sure.
When she gets married, of course.
Married? You getting married, Nita?
Next Saturday, Marshal.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Do I know the groom?
Jake Bewley.
Jake Bewley.
I guess everybody's surprised.
Yeah.
Would you come to the wedding, Marshal? I wish you would.
Well, sure.
Really?
Of course, I'd like to come, Nita.
Good. Look, Kitty, I didn't see those hats back there. Well, I'm not going to leave this store till I've looked at every single thing in it.
Kitty.
She's so excited.
Kitty, listen to me.
Huh?
How long has this been going on between her and Bewley?
A month or so, I guess. What?
I thought she was Charlie Pickard's girl.
Pickard thought she was, too. But she and Bewley used to meet on the sly. He never did find out. And he sure can't stop him now.
No, he can't.
As bad as it is for Chester, I'm glad Charlie Pickard got shot.
Well, there are other ways it could have been handled. Kitty, I'm going to tell you a secret.
A secret?
Well, that's what I want you to call it when you tell it to Nita.
Tell Nita what?
And I'm going to let Chester leave Dodge tonight.
What?
I'm going to ride out of town with him, and as soon as he's gone, I'm coming back and arrest Bewley.
Bewley? You think he did it, Matt?
Well, he could have. He had a good reason to. I'm going to find out for sure tonight. Anyway, tell Nita that I have a witness that nobody knows about but me.
But, Matt, if Bewley believes that, won't he wonder why you're letting Chester run away?
Well, not if he hears my witness won't be back in Dodge for a couple of days. And that I'm afraid Sam Noonan will form a lynch mob before then.
All right. But you're asking a lot, Matt. By telling Nita this could ruin her one chance to be happy.
Now, she wouldn't be happy with a murderer, Kitty. And if Bewley's innocent, I promise you that nothing will happen to her.
Okay, Matt. I'll do it.
All right, good. Now, Chester will be riding out of Moss Grimmick's stable about midnight tonight. With me.
Partner, 12:30, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
Guess there ain't no use waiting here much longer.
No. And I was hoping he'd come into the stable, Chester. We'd have a better chance at him that way.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's me he's going to be after. I'll go out first.
I'll cover you the best I can, Mr. Dillon.
Now, look, he doesn't know which direction we're going to be taking, so I expect he'll be hiding pretty close to the stable.
Mr. Dillon, you're risking your life just to keep me out of jail.
I'm catching a murderer, Chester.
No, sir, that's only part true. You're catching a murderer.
I'm going to lead my horse out the main door now. You stay here in the shadows. And I'm going to turn back and call to you so that he'll know it's me that's out there.
Well, ain't there some other way we can catch him, Mr. Dillon?
I swear I don't know what I'd do if anything happened.
I'm gonna go now.
Yes, sir.
All right, hurry up, Chester. Let's get moving.
Stop it!
He's in that alley, Mr. Dillon. I seen his gun flash.
Don't shoot, Chester. Wait a minute. Come on.
Look. Laying right there, Mr. Dillon. Why, it's a woman.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. Don't, please don't kill me.
It's Nita.
You hurt bad, Nita. Where did I hit you?
My arm. Here.
Let me take a look. Well, it's not broken. We'll get you up to Doc's right away.
She tried to kill you, Mr. Dillon.
No, it wasn't me. I followed Jake here. And I tried to stop him.
Get on, Chester.
What?
Where is he, Nita?
I couldn't stop him. He's a murderer.
Where is he? Tell me.
That rain barrel at the end of the alley. He said he was going to hide in there and for me to shut up.
All right, you stay with her, Chester.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking no chances, Bewley. I'm going to start blowing holes in that barrel.
No! Don't shoot! Look! My hands. Can't you see them?
All right, keep them up. High. All right, now stand up.
I ain't gonna try nothing, Marshal.
I'll take your gun. Give it to me. All right, now climb out of there.
Sure. I wasn't gonna shoot nobody, Marshal. You made a big mistake. Especially shooting a woman like
Shut
that.
up. Start walking.
Sure.
Jake,
Shut up, Nita.
I told you not to do it. I told you.
Too bad you wasn't killed. She was
Jake.
the one tried to do it, Marshal, not me.
But
I only run and hid to protect her, sort of.
You're not making much sense, Bewley. Take him to jail, Chester.
Listen to me, Marshal.
No. Get going.
Come on. Move, Bewley. Go on. And you better walk straight.
Won't do no good. You can't keep me in jail.
Yeah, you'll be saying that a month from now, Bewley.
Can you walk all right, Nita?
let me rest a minute. When I can.
Yeah, sure.
I guess you won't be coming to the wedding after all, will you, Marshal?
No, Nita, I guess I won't. Here, I'll carry you up to Doc's.
Now our star, William Conrad.
Thank you, George. Today, there's one filter cigarette that stands out from all the rest. L&M stands out for flavor, for effective filtration, for highest quality tobacco. L&M's got everything. That's what makes it America's best filter tip cigarette. Try L&M's king size or regular. I know you'll go for 'em.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman McDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Ray Kemper. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Lawrence Dobkin, James Nusser, and Joyce McCluskey. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. In the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Instantly, you'll smile your approval of Chesterfield's smoothness. You want them mild. We make them mild. Mild and mellow, with the smooth and refreshing taste of the right combination of the world's best tobaccos.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Try Chesterfield's today.
Listen to Chesterfield's two great radio shows every week. The Perry Como Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Dragnet, Tuesday nights on another network. Remember, listen again next week for another transcribed story of the Western frontier when Marshal Matt Dillon, Chester Proudfoot, Doc, and Kitty, together with all the other hard-living citizens of Dodge, will be with you once more. It's America growing west in the 1870s. It's drama. It's Gunsmoke. Brought to you by L&M Filters. This is the CBS Radio Network.